So A is the amount of medicine present in the body. B is the amount of time that has passed. Compare and contrast the two equations. So you're not having to solve for anything. I just want you to compare and contrast. What's similar about these two things? What's different? Okay. Okay, so we got 20 is similar. And we got negative 0.8 is similar. Anything else? A and the equation are similar. The T and the equation is similar. What's the only thing that's different? Ln. Okay, so ln, what is ln? Another way to say that. Log of base. What? It's another letter. It's the other letter that we deal with now. E. Oh, okay. Log of base E is the same thing as ln. Okay, and then E, just remember, is 2.718. So over here, what kind of function is this called? We have an exponent with a variable. So what is that called? You said it. Say it again. Exponential. Okay. And then over here, we have what type of function? There you go. This unit is not supposed to trick you. Okay. So if there's an exponent that has a variable, it's called exponential. If it has the word log in it, that's the type of function it is, right? Nothing too crazy. Maybe just a little. Okay, so today we're going to practice solving exponential and logarithmic equations. Just a reminder, tomorrow you have a CFA over this stuff. So everything that we've learned in this unit is probably going to be on that CFA. Okay, so make sure that you're here tomorrow as well. Okay. So what? I'm still working on it. There's a lot. All right, so on here, what we're going to do is we're going to take each of these little expressions, okay, and we're going to match them into these three columns. Okay, so there's a couple different ways that you solve the equations. Okay, so for instance, if I take this first one right here, it won't move. Great. This is great. Okay, so if I take this equation right here, this 3 to the x equals 15. 3 to the x equals 15. If I were to go about solving this, what would I do? Trying to get x by itself. And x is in the exponent. So I needed to convert this to... I need to convert it to a log by doing the circle of life, right? So we would say log of base 3 of 15 equals x, right? So what we would have done is place this in this column because it says isolate the log, then convert to exponential. I'm sorry. One more over. Okay, so this is isolate the exponential, then convert to log, which is what we did here. Okay, so we're trying to see what would we do in order to solve this. Okay. Taking the next one that's down here. What about this one? That's ln of x minus 6 equals 4. What will we do first? If we were to solve for x, what will we do first? Add 6 on both sides. So what is that doing? Is that isolating the log, or is that making each side of the equation have the same base? isolating the log. So we're gonna put this guy over here. Okay, so we're gonna do that for each one of these. Okay. On the next one, down here, we have log of base 5 of 2x plus 3 equals 3. We have log of base 5 of 2x plus 3 equals 3. Well, we already have this log by itself. So how would we get this to be exponential? What would we do? The circle of life, right? Okay, so that would be isolate the log, then convert to exponential. Okay, so log of base 5 of 2x plus 3 equals 3. We'll just do a couple more. Right here, we have 3 to the x over 3 to the 5th, and we're going to set that equal to 112. So how do we go about solving this one? Do we have a log or do we have an exponential right now? We have an exponential, and it's attached to this 3 to the 5th, right? Well, how would we get rid of this 3 to the 5th? Multiply it on both sides, which means that we are isolating the exponential, and then we would convert to log. So 3 to the x divided by 3 to the 5th equals 112. Mm-hmm. Okay. On the next one, we have 2 times log of base 2 of x equals 10. I'll write that up at the top so you can actually see it. We have 2 times log of base 2 of x equal to 10. What's the first thing we're going to do here? What's the first thing we're going to do? Not circle of life yet, but we would divide by 2. So we're going to isolate that log first and then do the circle of life, right? So we would isolate the log and then do circle of life. So most of these, the first thing that you want to do is either get the exponential by itself or the log by itself. Okay. Sometimes you're going to have to make each side of the equation have one term of the same base. And so what that means is you could do this one down here at the bottom. This 3 raised to the x plus 2 is equal to 3 to the 2x minus 4. This was similar to that row sum challenge that y'all did, that worksheet. Since these have the same base, now we can just take the exponents and set them equal to each other. Okay. All right, so we're going to get a little bit of practice with this stuff. Go ahead and head to Desmos. Go ahead and head to Desmos. So go to student.desmos.com. And while you're pulling that up, I'll leave this. You do have to participate. 7 of you are on here. I need a little bit more. Okay, so is the log by itself right here? Go to the second slide. Go to the second slide. You should have the same problem, right? Yeah. Okay, is the log by itself? Yes. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna start at our base, go to the outside, finish over here. We're gonna write this as an exponential. So we got 5 to the 3rd power is equal to 2x plus 3. So what's 5 to the 3rd power? Okay. And then what are we going to do next? Subtract 3 from both sides. And so that's going to give me 122. And then if we divide by 2, that's going to give me 61. So right here, you're going to type 61. Log of base e. Okay, so we have log of base e of x equals 3.1. Is the log by itself? Yes. Okay, so we're going to start at our base, go to the outside, finish over here. That's e to the 3.1. Okay, so in here you can type e to the 3.1. I think it might, not this one, right? 3.1. 22.19. And it said round to the nearest thousandth place. And so it's going to give me 22.198. Recording. Okay, so looking at slide 4, the first thing that we're going to do is we're trying to isolate that log, right? So we're going to divide by 5 on both sides. And so that's going to give me log of base 2 of x equals 5. I'm going to do the circle of life. So that's going to give me 2 to the 5th power equals x. And 2 to the 5th power is going to give me 32. Yay. Okay. On slide 5 is given a little bit of trouble for some people. I'm going to do it over here. We have ln of x minus 6 equals 4. We want to get that log by itself. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. And remember, ln is the same thing as log of base e of x. I go ahead and I change it. I always go ahead and say log of base e. I don't deal with the natural log. And so now I'm going to do the circle of life. So that's e to the 10th power. And they say round to the nearest 1,000. Okay, so when I plug in e to the 10th power, it already tells me it right here, 22,026.5. So 22,026.5. Nope, okay, hold on. 22,026. That's that right? I don't think it's giving me my thousandth place. E to the 10th power. 22,026,465. All right, so going back in here. Ta-da! Reading is fundamental. Counting to the nearest 1,000. Right? All right, go ahead and take a moment. Go ahead and work on slide 6. Go ahead and work on slide 6. This is going to be properties. This is going to be on your CFA and your test as well. So go ahead and take a moment, look at slide 6, and then we'll talk about it in just a second. So, what about this problem? What rule are we using? Are we using product rule, power rule, or quotient rule? Quotient, right? Okay. What about this one right here? Oh, it's got this exponent, right? Another way to say exponent is power. Okay. What about this one? We got addition going on in between two logs. What's that the same thing as? Product rule. What about this one? It's got subtraction. That's going to be quotient rule. What about this one? Not product. It's going to be power. This one we often forget, but if you have an exponent, you can also pull it out to the front as well. Okay, so this one's going to be power rule. And what about this last one? Okay. Ta-da! I like these little stars. They make my heart happy. Okay. Now let's look at slide number 7. This is where a lot of people struggle, is condensing. Okay, so let's chat about this one. All right, so we're going to solve for x. We got subtraction going on here. So what's that the same thing as? Division, right? Okay, so I could write this combined. Okay, it's like you're condensing everything into one expression. Now that we have this, we can use exponential or circle of life to help us solve this. So we have 10 to the third power is equal to x divided by 8. Well, 10 to the third power is going to give us 1,000. And we want x by itself, so we're going to multiply by 8 on both sides. And so x is going to equal 8,000. Like, these little emojis are so exciting. Just me. Thanks, guys. All right, so on slide 8, which is where a majority of us are, remember, when you do these properties, you always got to check and make sure that the base is the same. If they aren't the same, then you can't combine them. One thing to keep in mind. So we have addition going on in between two logs. So that's the same thing as multiplying. So we're going to take 5x plus 1, and we're going to multiply that by 3. So we're going to distribute this guy. So that's going to give me 15x plus 3. Oop, oop, oop. And now we're going to do the circle of life. And 7 to the third power is going to give me 343. So this is going to give me 343. And is equal to 15x plus 3. If we subtract 3 from both sides, that's going to give us 340. We're going to divide by 15. And so 340 divided by 15 gives us 22.7. Yay. Okay. On this next one, we have the same base. So what we can do here is we can drop the log, and we can just set what's on the inside equal to each other. Okay, so again, if it has log of base 5 and log of base 5 and they're equal to each other, and there's nothing else written outside of this, then what we can do is just drop the logs and solve for what's on the inside. So we're going to subtract x on one side. And then add 7 to both sides. And that's going to give us 3x equals 12. Divide by 3. And so x is going to equal 4.